Why do you make the decisions that you do? We like to think that we're rational beings and that we weigh up the pros and cons of all of our choices. But the truth is much more complex than that, and behavioural economics is now providing much better answers. You might call it the science of how we make choices. My name is Julian Saunders, and I've been interested in behavioural economics for more than a decade now. Daniel Kahneman is the father of behavioural economics, and he's developed a much better explanation as to how we make choices. He tells us that we have a two-system brain. Your system 1 brain is fast and instinctive. It takes in data from all sorts of sources. It is the primitive brain that has developed to ensure that we survive attacks in the wild. It notices danger, and no wonder our system 1 brain is always on. Your system 2 brain is what you might call thinking hard. It can't process much data. It's tiring and it demands energy. It can only do one thing at a time. It makes us very hungry if we think hard for long. It is not good at noticing danger. Our System 2 brain would never have seen the saber-toothed tiger coming. System 1 and System 2 work together. Imagine that you're making a journey that you've made 100 times before. It's so familiar that you do it without noticing time or noticing much at all. In fact, you're on autopilot. Autopilot is a good way to think about your System 1 brain. Then one day something odd happens. You're wandering along, mind in neutral, and you notice that there's a shark stuck in a roof. You stop and you think, what's going on here? Is it dangerous? What's happened is your System 1 brain has just kicked it upstairs to your System 2 brain to consider the situation. Now, I'm simplifying a lot. Our brains are very complex, but we do know that our first reactions to things are System 1, emotional and instinctive. This explanation of how we really think is full of implications for all aspects of our lives. Here are my top 5. 1. We choose with our emotions. Daniel Kahneman's book, Thinking Fast and Slow, starts with a picture of a face. He explains that when we first walk into a room, we instinctively look at faces. Are they friend or foe? Social interaction has high priority for survival, and so our brains have evolved to give it high priority. Emotions affect us powerfully. Here is something you might have experienced at work. If you smile at someone when they're giving a presentation, they feel encouraged. But if you frown at them, they feel discouraged. In fact, it's quite easy to make someone feel good or bad and so affect their behavior. So if you want people to do something, make them feel something. Make them feel happy or relaxed. Great communication acts on our emotions. And then we use facts to post-rationalize our instinctive emotional preferences. 2, we're lazy. A bit like Homer Simpson here, you'd like to use as little energy as possible. Not because you lack moral fibre, but thinking hard exhausts you and makes you blind to danger. In fact, laziness makes perfect sense. To see laziness at work, try this experiment at home. Put out a bowl of fruit with all sorts of different types of fruit in it and wait a week and see what fruit is left at the end of the week. Normally some oranges are left over. Everything else has been grabbed and eaten easily on the move, but the oranges, they have to be peeled and segmented and you have to wash your sticky fingers afterwards. In general, we do the things that are easy and we put off the things that are difficult. What are the big implications of that? Make things as easy as possible. Easy to find, easy to store, easy to use. Look for ease in everything. Ease increases response. Simply put, we like the people who make things easy for us. 3, we can be tricked. Yes, you are being psychologically influenced to do things without you knowing it. For example, experiments show that if we think we're being watched, it can change our behaviour. The tax office know this because they recently put up this poster. Does it make you feel uneasy? Well, it's designed to do so. In marketing, Sarah Osborne has been trying to get messy marketers to tidy up by using this image watching over you. Use powerful images. At work, everyone's very logical. We use words, we use arguments. But images can be very powerful, and the tax man certainly thinks so. 4, we go with the flow. We like to think of ourselves as individuals, but in truth we're herding animals. We go with the flow of others. We don't have the time to weigh up every decision, so it's much safer to do the things that other people do. You might have had the experience of turning up to a party and feeling either overdressed or underdressed. Mostly we want to fit in. A little dash of individualism is fine, but not so much that we stand out like a sore thumb. Popularity sells. Popularity, or at least the perception of popularity, is highly persuasive because it feels familiar, it feels safe, it feels like what other people do. And that is good enough for most people most of the time. 5, context is everything to us. Our brains are configured to notice everything. Not just what is said, but where it is said and how it is said and what it's compared with. When evaluating value, we make comparative, not absolute choices. Take that bottle of wine that you ordered at a restaurant. Did you pick it because it was the perfect complement to your food? Or was it because it wasn't the cheapest, wasn't the most expensive, it was somewhere in the middle, it seemed like a good choice? Design the way choices are presented. Think about how you design the presentation of your message. Is it seen in the right context and with the right points of comparison that make it seem like a good choice? Behavioural economics can change your life. This is just a taster of behavioural economics, but it really is worth your time to find out more. It enables you to better understand your own behaviour and the world around you. So to recap, we choose with our emotions, so make people feel. We're lazy, make things as easy as possible. We can be tricked, so use powerful images. We go with the flow, and popularity sells. Context is everything to us. Design the way choices are presented. Think about the 5 principles, and soon you will notice practical applications everywhere.